Hey everybody, how you doing? So I think what we're going to do today, if it's okay with you, is go through some of the charts that I've been looking at. We're going to look at some individual miners, gold and silver miners, some uh, uranium miners, and also I think we'll look at the charts for probably some cryptos as well. We'll just freestyle it and see where see where we end up and what we look at. I think the idea, from my point of view anyway, is to give you some clues as to where we're going at the moment and what's worth investing in and where we're heading over the next few weeks and months. Just before I kick off with all of that, this is my YouTube page you can see in front of you here. And if you click on the About tab and look at some of the details on there, you'll notice a couple of the links, one for my Twitter feed if you haven't looked at it yet, and the other one for a newsletter. It's a free newsletter which is being done by my good friend Steve, who fantastic guy who has been providing charts on Twitter for some time now. And he's actually asked me and Patrick Karim to help work on this and to contribute and provide charts. So we're really happy to do that. So we're on board with Steve's newsletter now. Steve, also known as Silver Chartist, as I say on Twitter. So click on the link there if you would like more free charts, lots of free information. Comes out every week, every sort of late Sunday evening. That's US time, Eastern Standard Time, so late in the evening on a Sunday or Monday morning. If you live in other parts of the world, you would get that newsletter in your inbox. So just yeah, sign up for that. It's all good stuff. So going back to the charting information, let's have a look now at some of the charts. In fact, we'll just go back there and see how gold and silver are doing. Doing okay at the moment today. Very indecisive over recent sort of days and weeks, really. We've been in consolidation since August, but we'll yeah, well, actually, whilst we're there on the gold chart, we'll might as well have a little look and see what's going on. You can see there on the long-term view that goes back well all the way to 2000 or so, that we've had a strong uptrend and we've been in a sort of bear trend for the sort of from 2011 down to around about 2016. And then we've picked up since then. We've moved from $1,050, of course, up to over $2,000, and we've just seen this consolidation, as you would probably expect, as we reach new all-time highs. Really interesting to see what happens here now. Quite a lot of people turning fairly bearish and very nervous, of course. But as far as technical analysis is concerned, there's nothing too worrying at the moment. This is your sort of line that you draw on there for the monthly all-time highs from back here in 2011, and we've seen a pretty textbook pullback after we broke through, and it's formed it depends how you draw it. You could call it a downtrend channel, a handle, but that's continuing to sort of build out at the moment. They can come down, to levels lower than where we are at the moment, and you can get the handle sort of that kind of size, which would take us down to, I don't know, $1,600 or so. It could take us back down to this sort of level here. This is worst case scenario. It's not really what I'm expecting, but it's just as well to be prepared. And it's not beyond the realms of possibility that you could see a handle doing that kind of thing. So we've got to keep that in mind. That would take us through at least for the next year or so. So I don't really want to see these sorts of levels being broken for any period of time. I think I've said on my Twitter feed 1700 is where I would sort of draw a line based on sort of support lines that I've got on the smaller time frame charts. If we go any lower than that for any period of time, then I'd be looking to this kind of scenario to be more likely. So we'll see. Got to sort of sit it out at the moment and wait and see what happens. I mean, in any case, the uptrend, in my view, will reassert itself for a whole number of reasons, whether it's now or whether it's in 12 months' time. Gold is, in my view, going to much higher levels. So let's drill down a little bit into some of the miners. We'll just go through the list here. It's a fairly random sort of mixture. At the moment, it's arranged according to price movements during the day. So the first one I've got at the top of my screen there is UR Energy, which is uranium mining company, of course. So if we sort of zoom out a little bit, see the big picture, that's always a good place to start. And I've got this set on the log view because price movements over longer periods of time tend to be logarithmic in nature. So here you see the black line is the long-term downtrend line, and if you're particularly sort of pessimistic about it, you could draw the red dotted line based on the monthly candlesticks. Something like that. So I was waiting for a breakout above the red dotted line to be absolutely certain, but of course we've had that now. I'd like to see the monthly close above both of these lines just to be absolutely certain, but to me that looks like a pretty bona fide breakout going on there, and on the monthly chart the stochastic has some way to go up into this high zone here, and it can actually remain there for a period of time. Bear in mind that this entire chart that you're looking at has been in the bear market, so we haven't actually got any data on there to look at to sort of give us an idea what a bull market would look like. But what it would look like in terms of the indicator is that it would bobble around up at the top here, and you just see price accelerating away to the upside. So now we're broken out, that's all positive, and should signal a trend change over coming years where uranium miners move to prices that are way beyond where they are today. So that's bullish. As an investor, it's quite typical for price to come back down and test the breakout level. You might be wondering whether it's going to do that. I'll just zoom in a little bit and show you what it's been doing so far. So it broke above, and then it did come back down to that line and tested it. Now we're taken off again, and we're up here at 124. Sort of roughly 25% above the breakout line. There's no guarantee it's going to come back and test the breakout line again. If I wasn't already invested in this stock, I would probably wait for the stochastic indicator to pull back some more. It does look pretty high at the moment, although, as I say, it can stay up here for quite a long period of time. Price could accelerate up here somewhere, pull back a little bit and carry on upwards. So if I was looking to invest here, I'd probably put 50% in now, and if it accelerates away up here, put the other 50% in on any pullback. That's the way I'd play it anyway. Everyone's different. Mawson Resources. Again, let's have a look at the sorry, not Mawson Resources, Mawson Gold. Looking at the big picture, this is another one that's broken out of a long-term downtrend, and you'll notice a bit of a theme in these charts where many of the stocks have broken out of long multi-year downtrends. And fairly typical when that happens is that you get some sort of pullback formation either just above or just below the multi-year downtrend line. This one sort of formed the majority of that pattern just above the downtrend line. And my expectation now, of course, is for it to accelerate away to the upside. And in fact, you've got a bullish crossover on the stochastic, which has just taken place. If you look at the numbers on the left-hand side over here, if I keep my cursor on the right-hand side, these numbers over here on the left are the blue numbers larger than the orange number in non-technical terms. So that means that the blue line's above the orange line, so it's crossed over. It's a bullish cross. So it's evidence that the price is going to break out and move away to the upside. So that's a bullish position for that stock. Greatland Gold. I've been posting this one on Twitter for quite some time now. Just zoom in a little bit and maybe look at the last year or so on here. Bring the chart down a bit. This is listed on the London Stock Exchange, and so where are we at the moment? came back down, and if I draw this line properly, adjust it a little bit, there we go. And you find you do this quite a lot with charts. The lines need adjusting as evidence comes in, and the patterns morph with time. But I see the price has come back down, tested this support line, and as per my dotted red arrow that I put on some time ago, it's now starting to move up. And again, the stochastic, again, I put this dotted red line on some time ago, and it's now doing what I expected it to, and the price is starting to accelerate away to the upside, up a very healthy 5% today. And my initial target area is the top of the channel, sometime in the next 2 or 3 months, something like that. Silver bull resources. Again, we've got a very long-term pattern going on here with the upper resistance line, which is or has been containing the price for the last 10 years or so. And you can see that we formed a bullish pennant. When the lines start to converge, it's a pennant rather than a flag. So it's a bullish pennant which has broken out to the upside, and on the monthly view, the stochastic indicator has had a bullish crossover. So on the longer time frame, the trend is up. When you look at the shorter time frame, let's have a look at the last 12 months, and it changes to the daily view rather than the monthly view. So the shorter time frame shows the stochastic indicator moving down, which means that the short time frame price movement has been down. But as soon as that starts to level off and move back up again, the long-term trend that you saw on the previous sort of time frame, the monthly view, we'll take the price upwards, and we're looking for a breakout somewhere around about the $1.27 mark, something like that. Back to Greatland Gold. I don't know what was when I was referring to Greatland Gold. This is pence, of course. Can't remember if I just called it dollars or what. Always make that mistake because most of these are in dollars, but this is pence, pounds and pence. So 34 pence. Just in case I needed to correct myself. So these are bullish pullbacks when you get a sort of a flagpole like that, and then I think you just learn over time what looks like a bullish pattern and what's a bearish pattern. But when you're broken out of a pennant and you're gradually edging upwards like that, that's a bullish position to be in. Nothing to worry about there. You've got a support zone beneath, and I'd expect this upper resistance line to be tested in the next few weeks. This is platinum. This isn't one of the miners. It's platinum itself. So I've been tracking the platinum price, and I think on one or two of the charts that I posted on Twitter, I've had the line down here with a breakout. But if you're ultra cautious, you can draw the line on the top of the wicks here on the candles. So I've just moved it up there, and once price gets up to another $50 or so, we can say with some confidence that we've broken out. So that's looking positive, as long as it doesn't turn down here, of course, which I'm not expecting. I'd expect the stochastic indicator to stay in the high zone for a while, which will help to power the price upwards. IAM Gold is another one I've been tracking. Let's have a look here. And yet again, a long-term resistance line with a consolidation on or near the resistance line, and a breakout in progress. If we just look at the last 12 months and expand the scale on the side there, you can see the pennant right on. So this is the upper resistance line. This is the pennant zoomed in, and you can see the breakout here. And sometimes as these develop, you end up kind of reconsidering where these lines go. I think in this case you could justify it probably going somewhere in that area there, or you could even, depending on how you want to view it. You could call it a flag like that. But the stochastic is just about to turn up. Price has already turned up. It's up 1.5% today. And I would expect the price to continue upwards with a breakout. And that's all looking really positive and bullish. Compañía de Minas Buenaventura. Stochastic is very low, so I'd expect that to turn up and take price away with it. Let's have a look where we would put the flag. Excuse the dog barking in the background, if you can hear it. Yeah, so sometimes these patterns are a little bit easier to define than others. Try the weekly view. Yeah, that's a bit better, isn't it? So something like that maybe. So it's an expanding, descending sort of megaphone pattern, or expanding wedge pattern if you want to call it that. But again, expecting that to break out to the upside in the not too distant future. It's a overall bullish looking formation. Westwater Resources, another old favourite that sends a shiver down my spine. It's a little bit like what's that one? Northern Dynasty. Very speculative, but when you look at the chart, it's quite compelling. So, and this chart reminds me of what was the chart I was looking at yesterday? Long-term chart. I think it was it US inflation rate. I think it was the 10-year Treasury bonds. That was it. Looks very similar to this. Long-term descending, expanding type pattern with a false breakdown. Yeah. In fact, I posted that on my Twitter feed. Anyway, I digress. So, if and when this breaks out, of course, look at these numbers on the right-hand side here. I appreciate there's reasons why we're not going to get up to those sort of levels again. But from a TA point of view, even if we move to this area here around 100, that's an incredible gain from $5 to $100, and we're only just getting going with the stochastic indicator rising on the monthly chart. If we look at the last 12 months, zoom in a little bit. All sorts of possible cup formations going on there, and I keep having to readjust this a little bit, but you can see we've literally just had a bullish crossover on the stochastic indicator, and it looks as though price is likely to carry on upwards. And there is a limit as to how far you can extend these, because as you can see, as I extend it further to the right, the price action on the left no longer fits, and you start struggling to make the pattern fit. So you can only extend it so far before the pattern's broken. But at the moment, it's okay with the arc to about there. So I'm not giving up on this yet. I've got funds invested in this one, just speculatively, but if we see price moving up the right-hand side of this arc formation, then that'll increase my confidence that we're going to test the upper resistance line around about 21, which is sort of 4 times. In fact, I got in down here somewhere around about $2 or $3. So it'd be a really nice gain if we get up to $20 or so. I'll take some of the profits off the table, I think, and just wait to see what happens in terms of a breakout here. Corvus Gold. Again, let's have a look at the long-term view. I'm just doing very simplistic technical analysis here. I'm not looking at Fibonacci levels. I'm not looking at some of the more complex indicators. I'm just keeping this very plain, simple, straightforwards for you. So the main thing that I'm watching with Corvus is this uptrend line from 2016. Quite happy as long as price stays above that. So price could drop quite substantially, and I wouldn't be particularly worried with this one. If I zoom in to the last 12 months, give you an idea what all of these lines are supposed to be telling you. So we've got another expanding, descending flag pattern here, which is just extending out further and further in time. So I think I might have to reassess what's going on with that, because it does reach a point where that pattern is no longer valid. It's not really started to move up in the way that I thought it would, but we're getting towards a bullish crossover here now, and it's always nice to see some, get the line on the chart here, some build of momentum in the indicators usually means that price is going to eventually break out to the upside rather than the downside. You can see that there was some negative divergence here, which, well, more particularly here, I suppose, negative divergence. Price went up a little bit and the indicators were coming down, and that's pulled price down with it. But we've got the opposite at the moment, so we'll just see how that develops. GSV, Gold Standard Ventures, and again, look at the long-term view. It's an interesting one, this. It's had a sort of repetitious pattern of expanding, descending, bullish breakouts. So a couple of megaphone type patterns here, which one's, go further back to the left here, you can see price built up into that first one, up here and down, up here. And of course the gains from the bottom to the top, you're talking about 42 cents all the way up to sort of $4. So it's quite some, in fact, not 42 cents, yeah, that's 42 cents up through $1, yeah. So you're talking about an 8 times gain there, 800%. And I think I got into this stock back here somewhere. I can't quite remember when I got in. I'd have to check, but I know I'm in the green with this one at the moment. So if it does break out to the upside, which I'm pretty confident it will, then that's all good as well. And if we zoom, well, in fact, price at the moment is just about resting on the top of that pennant. I'll just zoom in, see where we are. Expand the pennant. Okay, so you see when you zoom in, it gives a slightly different view, and depends where you want to put this line as well. You can experiment with the lines until you get some sort of feel for where is the best place to put it. I mean, that not an easy one, this, actually, I have to say. I'll probably leave it somewhere around here. There's nothing that says these things have to play out perfectly, but I think because we've had one touch here, another one here, and another one here, that's fair enough to put the upper resistance line on there. So I'll be looking for a breakout currently above, it's roughly $1, isn't it? 99 cents, $1. And with the stochastic in the low zone where it is now, you either get price dropping rapidly or it turns round and you get a trend change. So looking for a trend change, it may drop back a little bit further, but again, looking for the breakout in the next few weeks. Sibanye Stillwater, I'll have a look at them. And the long-term view. Curious looking chart, this one. This is one of my arc formations, although in this particular chart I've tilted it, and a very odd sort of handle type thing and a channel going on at the moment. It is what it is, and that's what it is. So there's its support line, and as long as it stays above at about $14.50, that kind of area, then I don't have any worries. The stochastic can go up to that sort of level as it has done in the past, so it's got room to rise. So one to continue watching. That's Sibanye. Sandstorm Gold, another one with an arc. I'll just do that for you so you can see it. So there's an arc formation in there. You've got an upper resistance line, which we broke out of, lower support line, which has worked pretty well. I probably placed that on the monthly view. Yeah, so you You can see the candles there, why I've put that line where I have. And we've got a very, very clear flag there, unusually long. Don't normally like to see them that length, but the textbooks, the rules in the textbook can be stretched. It looks to me as though the stochastic is just starting to level off here, which is a bullish sign. If it continues to level off, we're pulled back a long way now, and price has just moved up a little bit today. So this could be the start of an uptrend, and of course it's the breakout that you're looking for. So a breakout above. There you go. Looking at the last 12 months on the daily view, the stochastic is just turning up. So I think price is going to move up. So if we break out above around about $9.76, then it's game on for Sandstorm. What else should we look at? Pick some of the ones that are down today. Kefi is one that I've posted quite a lot on, and we've just seen in fact, it's worth looking at the big picture on this one because it's quite impressive. I think it is anyway. So you can see just how far the price has come down from, what was it up here, over 150. Let's get my units right here. That's pounds, isn't it? Or was it pence? It'd be pence, 150 pence, £1.50. And we're down here at whatever it is, 2 pence, nearly 2 pence. Yeah, ignore my annotations on here. I've got dollars on. I do it every time. They're really annoying. I'm talking about dollars when it should be pounds and pence. Delete that garbage. And again, we've got a very clear flag and pennant here, and these patterns are all over the place in the charts at the moment, which is why I'm so sort of bullish at the moment, because they're forming either just above or just below these long-term resistance lines, and we're just about to get a bullish crossover on the stochastic here, so that's got to be a time to jump in on this stock, I would have thought. We're just getting a breakout on the flag, we're just close to the upper resistance line, and then it's, well, it's kind of away we go. It's a complete trend change from the last 10 years. It's a new era for Kefi. Trying to think, there was one of these stocks that was, it was Heckler. Where's Heckler? HL. You'll all be screaming at me saying, there it is, but I can't see it. There it is. Heckler, right. Might have a look at one more uranium stock after this and a couple of cryptos. So here's Heckler mining, and you can see the chart here goes all the way back to the 1960s, and throughout that entire time, price has not broken through and remained above the upper resistance line. We're just about to see the stochastic on the monthly view entering the sort of turbo zone, as Patrick calls it. I call it sometimes, which means that when you're up in that zone, price can accelerate to the upside quite rapidly. And so for the last 52 years, price hasn't been above this level. So it's Heckler's date with destiny. We've broken out of a bull flag, and the measured targets of, well, you could actually call that one big bullish pennant, in which case the measured target is up here somewhere and well clear of the resistance line. So watching this one very closely. If that breaks out, I'll be posting that on my Twitter feed. You can guarantee that, because that'll be big news for Heckler coming up. Energy fuels, uranium miner. Oh, that looks bullish, doesn't it? Okay, so looking at the big picture for energy fuels, it's another one of my ARCs. Love them or hate them, they seem to do the job. Okay, so that's a bit messy, and because I've been mucking around with the scales, I think the arc's shifted out of position a little bit, but ignoring all of the bits of writing I've got on here, we've had a downtrend, a basing formation, and now what I'm expecting is a prolonged uptrend here. All of this is bear market, so when we enter a bull market, this indicator is going to be doing things that it hasn't been doing up until now. In other words, it's going to be staying in this high zone. So zooming in, let's have a look at the last 1 year and see what's going on at the moment on the daily chart. So when I say the daily chart, these candlesticks are all representing 1 day, and we've got a bullish pennant there. The price has been moving down in a pennant formation. Stochastic has been resetting, so we may see a little bit more downside on energy fuels, but when this breaks out, price is going to accelerate away again to the upside. I noticed that the spot uranium price had dropped a little today. We got something to do with it. I wouldn't expect that to last. I think the fundamentals for spot uranium price are very good, so we're keeping a close eye on that though, nevertheless. And switching to cryptocurrencies. Have a look. Go for the big daddy, shall we? Bitcoin. So we've, and again on my Twitter feed, I've been posting on Bitcoin ever since we were down at around $9,000, saying buy, buy, buy. This is going much, much higher, and of course it has done. We broke out, it followed the arc, and we've got the daily chart, isn't it? Yeah, okay, so each one of these is 1 day's price action, and price has broken out at sort of 20,000, moved up to over 40,000, and it's pulled back, and that looks like a bull flag to me. I might just switch to the 4-hour view. On the 4-hour view, you can see I've been drawing excuse me, I've been drawing some support and resistance lines, and we'll just monitor these, see how it goes. But the price has been on a gradual uptrend over the last day or so, with less and less volatility in the price actually, so that often ends up resolving fairly rapidly one direction or the other. At the moment I'm expecting an upside resolution, seeing something between 50 and 60,000 US dollars before a really meaningful correction takes place. The graph GRT up 16%. Some of these smaller altcoins can be prone to some big moves, but Ripple, for example, shot up and collapsed again for reasons that I think anybody who follows cryptocurrency will know. Link is another one I've been following, and a bit like Bitcoin, it's been consolidating and moving back up. Not really too much more to add on that at the moment. They're all trending upwards. Ethereum, that following the large pullback that took place a couple of days ago, they've recovered somewhat. Ethereum back over $1,000, and it was all the way down here at one point. It was around about $900. So it's recovered about 10% or so. But until we get a more definite and clear breakout, you just have to be a little bit cautious, I suppose. But I'm not worried about the crypto sector at the moment. Even if we were to correct down to the arc here, the trend over the next few months anyway, through until the summer, for me, in my view, is going to be much, much higher. And then from summer onwards, I'll be turning more cautious on cryptocurrencies. That's mainly because of the Bitcoin cycle. I'll just quickly mention that before I say goodbye. So the Bitcoin cycle is a 4-year cycle. Not many of the cryptocurrencies have been around long enough to examine their cyclical behavior, but of course Bitcoin has. This is where my chart decides to display more stuff than it should. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, so yeah, there's a 4-year cycle in here. 2011-ish, there was a low. 2015, another low. 2019, another low. So every 4 years there's a low point. So the next low point is due 2023. That means, of course, we're going to peak before that and drop down into that low. Just do that. I don't know where all these labels have come from. I think TradingView seems to have suddenly remembered everything that I've ever put on this chart and decided to display it all at once. But yeah, so we're going to peak. I mean, you can see the date at the bottom there, April, May, June. It could peak a little bit later and drop down into here, but the low point is due in 2023. So we need to peak and drop down into that low as we have done before. The previous peaks have been sort of a couple of years before the low point. So if you get a right translated cycle, of course, you could peak a little bit later and get prices much higher before dropping down. So it's all to play for, all to monitor over the next few months. I'd like to see the stochastic indicator sort of remain in this high zone. It's just crossed over there, but it does that in the bull run. You can see it crossed here, crossed there, and there, whilst price carried on accelerating upwards. So this doesn't concern me that we've had a bearish cross on the stochastic indicator. It may just be a short-term top, and we may pull back over the course of 2 or 3 weeks, which is what's happened on these pullbacks in the past. So there you go. That just about wraps it up, I think. Hopefully you have a little bit of an idea of some of the ways that I analyse the chart. I mean, I haven't covered all the different techniques here, just looked at 1 or 2 of the indicators and basically support and resistance lines and arcs. But I'll be covering more of those in the future, and perhaps some things like the Fibonacci extension and retracement levels as well. They're all on the sorts of things that are available on the tools on the left hand side on TradingView. So it's a free website, by the way, TradingView. So if you feel like you'd like to sort of try a little bit of chart analysis for yourself, then give it a go. It's all good fun. So that's it for now, and thanks for listening, and don't forget to look me up on Twitter, and the Silver Chartist link is on my Twitter page, and it's also on my YouTube